Hello, everybody. This is Purge, bringing you guys a Death Prophet replay commentary. Thanks again to everybody that's been signing up on the Patreon. I really appreciate it. Feel free, anybody else, to check it out if you guys haven't seen the announcement yet. And let's carry on with the video. Death Prophet is a hero that has seen a lot of popularity loss in the last bit of time. She did see some more play at Epicenter, though, and as you can see, top players are playing her again, so I'm going to talk a little bit about her as a hero and why she has some great potential. So first off, her talents have been buffed a decent amount recently. She has better numbers as a whole across the board. Her hero, I don't know if her skills have really been changed that much. I guess that's mostly just talents and her place in the meta, and that she is pretty fast at accelerating into a good place and can impact team fights in a lot of really good ways. So first thing to talk about is her skills. Crypt Swarm is just a spammable cone nuke similar to Lena's nuke. She has a very, very low cooldown, Silence. It's called Silence. 12-second cooldown at max level with 6-second uptime. If you get an Octarine Core, that's 6 out of 9 seconds in a big AoE radius silence. Spirit Siphon creates a link between you and a target. They take damage over time, and they take a percentage of their max HP per second and slows them up to 20%. It has charges. It's a very good skill for keeping yourself alive. You can cast it on multiple heroes if needed. And your ultimate spawns ghosts, which attack things, doing physical damage, and once that ends, it gives you health based on how much damage you did. All very good things. Take a look at her talent tree. She's got magic resistance and spell amp. Spell amp can max the mana drain she does, which therefore increase the life steal she gets. The magic resistance perk is also pretty good. Crypt Swarm cooldown at 15, cast range increased to help Spirit Siphon, Silence, Nuke, and cooldown reduction at 20, 50 movement speed as well. I really like the 50 movement speed, and then Exorcism Spirits or Health at 25. So way she's played is almost always mid lane. It's very, very common. This is basically just pub crap. Don't ignore these. Mid lane is pretty much the only way to play her. This is the most popular skill build. I'm not always the biggest fan of this. I've seen a lot of mixes of how people do it. Let's take a look at how SCCC did it this game. Go to builds. Okay, actually, I like what he did here. I did almost this build. I believe I didn't get my ultimate at 6. I got it at 7, but I think this is the right way to play it. I think for a long period of time, Death Prophets were playing the hero in a way where they would pretty much prioritize Spirit Siphon first because it would help them stay alive, harass the enemy mid laner more. But at some point, I'm just like, guys, you have a spammable nuke that costs a decent amount of mana, but you can sustain it. And that's kind of how I played this game. I've focused pretty much just casting Crypt Swarm every frickin' chance that I get to increase my farm rate. And that's pretty much the focus here. The build that I want is not currently the popular one, but that doesn't mean that it's not potentially good. In pro matches, though, Phase Boots with Yule Scepter is almost always the build, as you can see from this game here by SCCC. I believe you want Phase as well. The purpose of this build is to massively increase your movement speed, 40 from the Yules, and the Phase Burst as well can be nice. And what you basically want to do is get out of dangerous situations, and when shit's really hitting the fan, you throw yourself up in the air. And you can also do cool stuff like cast Spirit Siphon on 2 or 3 heroes when you're about to die, then cast Yules on yourself, and in the meantime you're dealing damage and healing yourself, so you can buy yourself time to get your HP up a bit higher. So there's kind of cool things you can do with Yules. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the item, but as a rush, because it doesn't give you that much mana, but it does make you stronger in the early game. It just kind of has trouble scaling past that sometimes. The builds that they were doing at Epicenter was always like Phase Yules, they would get Solar Crest, they would maybe get a pipe afterwards. It was a lot of like utility items to keep yourself alive. Death Prophet's win rate is maybe not the best. 49% above 5k, but that's not terrible, and I would say that's still viable at lots of games. If you want to look at the win rates down here, Spell Amp is the higher win rate at 2.4%, but frankly, I am not completely sold on that. I think some games the magic resistance is better, and that's kind of how I play the hero, buy a lot of raw health and get magic resistance perk, but I can kind of see why SCCC or other players may prioritize Spell Amp. I don't know if that amplifies your ultimate or not. Not sold on that. This one, I guess, kind of makes sense. Cast ranges for silences. Yule Scepter, cast range is way better if you have Yule Scepter. For me personally, I went Crypt Storm cooldown. I basically grabbed all the ones that were least grabbed, except for maybe the health one. Not sure if I hit 25. But here's some other popular items. Octarine Core is super good because it lowers the cooldown that your ultimate comes off cooldown. It's a very long cooldown, and it will lifesteal whenever those do damage, which is pretty cool. It also reduces the cooldown on your Silence and your Crypt Swarm. All that stuff is great. And the recharges of your Spirit Siphon and gives you extra lifesteal for whatever it nukes people for. This doesn't make any sense. Oh wait, it does, because players are bad. They cast their ultimate, then they use Shadow Blade to be invisible so that people can't target them. Don't buy that. This is bad. This is a bad sign. Shiva's Guard is great. Bloodstone is really good. Lincoln Sphere is situational late game. It's a pretty good hero. Heroes you're good against. People that do damage over time. Beastmaster is good at killing single targets, but you can deal with him. You also have AoE to kill his neutrals and stuff. You can repeatedly silence Timbersaw to make his life suck. Tidehunter probably can't kill you. Doom can try to kill you, but it doesn't work super well because you do damage based on its percentage. If you cast Spirit Siphon before he dooms you, you probably don't care. If you cast your ultimate and Spirit Siphon and he dooms you, you don't care because your ultimates your spells have already been used. So things like that. A lot of bursty heroes are kind of countered. Their Storm Spirit because of silence, you beat him in lane. Most of these guys are really have a lot of trouble killing a single target hero, basically. If you want the biggest win rates, you equip these cosmetics. And here's your bad against. Sniper makes sense. Makes you immobile. Does a lot of physical damage. Can kill you from range where it's hard for you to gap close. Silence doesn't always beat him. Razor takes your damage. Basically just all physical right clickers is what it seems like. People that prevent healing, stuff like that. Your strength gain's really good, 2.6. Int gain's really good at 3. And your agility gain's pretty bad. Your movement speed's 310, which is good. Base armor's pretty good. And your base damage is pretty solid as well. So that's the basics about Death Prophet. Let us hop into the game. So this is actually a really old game. I played this probably 3 weeks ago before Epicenter, and I've been meaning to do a replay commentary, but didn't get around to it until now, unfortunately. I'm leaving tomorrow. I don't know when this video is going to be posted, but it's about 9:30 p.m. right now, and I'm leaving in the morning to go to Colorado for the Moonduck Hub. And my flight is at like 5 a.m., which sucks so bad. So I've got a lot to do before I leave tonight. And then immediately after the hub, we're going to the first wedding in Wisconsin, and then the second wedding afterwards in India. So I'm going to be gone for like almost 3 weeks. I'm going to try to make some content at least while I am in Wisconsin, but no promises. There's going to be a lot of busyness going on. Okay, and then once I get back, TI rolls up soon, but I'll try to get back to regular content as soon as I get home. So in the mid lane, maximizing your base damage is really important, obviously, so Null Talisman's the best way to do that. I think I random this game, so I got a bunch of extra stuff, but if I didn't random, I would have probably had 2 Ironwood Branches, 2 Pooled Tangos. And I ended up laning against an Elk mid this game. Elk mid is probably pretty much not played right now. I feel like nobody does it, just because it's kind of been seen as not a good hero, but I did get to play against it this game, and arguably Death Prophet's pretty good against it because you can punish the hero decently using Spirit Siphon. And that's because it's the strength hero, and that means he has relatively high HP. He doesn't have the best defensive measures either, which kind of makes it harder for him to deal with me. But mostly I'm just focused on getting as many last hits as possible, and maybe if I have an opportunity, go for kills. I was playing with Charlie, Franz, Nash is another friend of theirs, and I don't remember who the Crystal Maiden is. Goal is almost always get last hits, denies when possible. I think he might have a Quelling Blade. He does, so it's actually pretty difficult to get denies against him, but you can do things like that where you can attack before he's even ready to last hit, and even if I don't get the deny, it's better than him actually getting the gold from it. It's a very common strategy here. I wasn't really sure which skill I would want early. This is a really important thing for Death Prophet, and that ideally you don't actually cast Spirit Siphon until you get the second point, and that's because, like I basically did here, I did a little bit of damage to this guy and I lifestealed, but it really doesn't matter. And if I get my next point of Spirit Siphon, it doesn't automatically tick up to 2, I believe. We'll take a look at it when I do hit level 2 on it, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about that, and that I made a huge blunder here by trying to cast that. I'm looking to deny the range creep right here. It's actually a really important thing against Alchemists, is to deny those creeps under Acid Spray. So yeah, see, I got the second point in Spirit Siphon, and now it doesn't tick from 1 charge to 2 charges. So it's a really bad thing actually to use Spirit Siphon when you only have one skill point, because it kills the charges and any extra levels you get are going to prevent it. If I just didn't cast that and grab the second point, I go from 1 charge to 2 instantly, and then if I use 1, the cooldown begins at that point. So my last hitting so far is pretty bad, 704. His has been kind of weak as well, on the bright side. I certainly think I'm sure I could have laned this a little bit better, but it is kind of hard to bully him and try to prevent him from hitting creeps entirely, so doing my best here. Also have Siamora, which is pretty nice. Should be casting more spells, and honestly I could be casting the Crypt Swarm too. It only does 75 damage with 1 skill point, but it's definitely still possible as a last hit or harass tool. I'm trying to pressure the Alchemist here, so casting a Spirit Siphon. As you can see, I instantly broke the armor. Unfortunately for us, the Alk did kill the Ricky right before I killed the Alk, so this is good for me. It was probably about equal if you look at a fight recap here. He actually does gain gold, and Ricky loses a little bit, but I gain a lot, and I get the experience. But he also gets the experience. I don't know. Positives and negatives, basically. But generally, that shouldn't happen. Rather than buying Bottle first, I opted to get Boots, probably because I was concerned about chasing the Alchemist. And also increasing my survivability about being ganked by like a Pudge or something like that. I'm going to have to nuke this to get the last hit, because I didn't prep that one. Can't say I'm extremely upset with my last hitting so far. It's okay. I'm maxing Crypt Swarm now. Should be using Tangos to get my HP up a little bit faster. And sometimes, and very often actually, I would say, it's actually really worth it for you to deny over get a last hit against an Elk. Just because you know how much experience he's going to, or how much gold he'll get from it. Takes a lot of proactive focus. Ended up beating a tree here. I didn't really need to. I should have just been popping Tangos earlier, but I was being a bad laner, so I'll mess that one up too. I'm going to say that I was not a very effective laner here. I also have Boots in the stash, which I haven't actually grabbed again yet, so that's kind of stupid. But that's where we are. Ooh, that was a little terrifying. So every extra point of Spirit Siphon that I get gives me 1.5 extra seconds of, or 1.5% extra HP sap, which multiplied by 6 is 9%. Which is pretty good. Really don't know why I'm not using the courier. I feel like I must have been really rusty playing right here. I've got a 3rd point Spirit Siphon now. Oh, I'm sorry, it actually starts, everything I said before was a lie. Looks like as you grab your 3rd, it allows you to start charging up to that charges, but it doesn't actually give me 3 charges. I gave him my bottle here, and he got my Boots too. Honestly don't know why I didn't use the courier. I'm gonna go for the Pudge now. Was able to get the Pudge kill at least, which is pretty good. If I had my ultimate there, probably would have killed the Alchemist. In fact, I remember Franz was confused that I didn't have it. Honestly, I just got a little confused myself based on builds that I've seen on people playing Death Prophet in the last couple of years, where they would max Spirit Siphon first and ignore Crypt Swarm. But instead, I kind of just looked at this game and I was like, I'm going to cast a lot of Crypt Swarm. And that's basically becomes the goal. Drop Null Talisman to make sure that your mana gets more refilled here. Made a slight mistake doing mine, but no rune respawn top, which means it's bottom. This is probably a good time to nuke. But the reason that I didn't nuke is because I wanted to wait a little bit of time to ensure that he didn't see me there, and therefore when we actually did react, that it would be a higher chance to get a successful kill. So this is my new cosmetic that I got. So they're sharks, pretty cool. Small, they're like little baby sharks, little baby ghost sharks. And I do not remember what I maxed first, but yeah, I feel like it was the new kid. It was. So at this point, doing really well in my lane. Probably should get something like a raindrop maybe, but there isn't that many sources that I can stop the damage from, so... But I'm definitely not prioritizing getting my items quite as fast. Like, even watching this game and comparing it to how I would play if I was playing right now, it's quite staggering to me, the difference. Important that you prep hits here. Always hit the range creep once, at least. And when you nuke, you should get 2 guaranteed last hits. 1 on the range creep, 1 on the melee creep that's taking damage. Picked up Arcane Boots to try to pump up my Bloodstone faster, and that's the build that I wanted to do this game because I think the Bloodstone build is actually really good. It's pretty much the same reason that it's good on Lena, is that you just get mana and you cast it a lot. That was actually really dangerous. Luckily for me, the creep didn't have more than 300 HP yet, so I got away with getting that last hit. But it shouldn't have worked. Don't know why I keep walking up here. I mean, even checking for a rune here is extremely unlikely. This feels like a waste of time. Maybe instead I should have ran to the right side or stacked a camp or something, but I seem quite aimless this game in comparison to other ones, and I could probably run out some more items. Like, for example, if you play Lena in the mid lane and you go for a Bloodstone, very often the Lenas will grab a Soul Ring early, which makes a lot of sense. It's definitely something I should have done. Grab an early Soul Ring, that gives you more mana to spam out the lane. You get more farm, you can harass your opponent more. All those things are really effective to do. I don't know what I'm using the courier for. Probably send it over here to get my point booster, but I think it might have been better to go Soul Ring first instead. Argue that was probably the better move. And I should also probably pop my DD here to ensure better last hitting and denying. But I didn't. Don't know why. Buy my point booster now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Alright, point booster's up. Drop at least the point booster here to pop arcanes. Nuke the wave. Another reason you probably get phase boots a lot of the time as Death Prophet is because you want to ensure that you can better push the lane, pretty much. Decided to pop my ultimate here. I think I saw the Purge TPN. I'm not 100% though. Put 2 Spirit Siphons down. I sort of remembered living there, but boy did I die. I took a lot of damage, I bet. Let's take a look at the recap here. I dealt a ridiculous amount of damage, but I also took enough damage.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Which is kind of interesting. 3 Spirit Siphons. It was a pretty over-aggressive dive, though. Honestly, either way with my items, I'm not really... I have raw HP, but I don't have a lot of resistance past that, so any minus armor, things like that, it's going to affect me. Probably, I really should have fairy fired like 4 different times in that engagement, I must say. So I got very close to dying a few times there. But I think either way, I was most likely going to go down, so I don't feel too bad. I don't know if the spell amp is super worth it myself. This game, I felt pretty justified about magic resistance due to radiance damage, pudge damage is all magic, a lot of gyro damage is magic. So I felt like that pretty much justified the 12% magic resistance. And if you don't really know how much that gives, magic resistance is pretty much just additively stacking. So what that means is, like, if I take 1,000 magic, or if I have 1,000 HP and I'm only taking magic damage, it counts for 120 HP, which is kind of a lot. So for every 1k HP, I'm getting basically 6 strength worth of health points. It's a lot. And if I do plan to buy stuff like Bloodstone, then that's obviously going to pay off in the long run in a big way. So that's pretty much the goal here. Bought the mango for the purpose of going Soul Ring. I don't know why I would... I don't know. I'm confusing myself this game. Must have been sloppy. Maybe I played these games right after I got back from, like, DAC or something. I can't really remember. I should be using bottle charges right now. My arcanes are being unused. I don't know why. Sloppy. Very sloppy. Deny whatever I can. Didn't get my ulti off, unfortunately. We'll put my ult down now. Pretty close. Kill all chasing creeps if possible, that way they don't know where I'm running. Then I get the glory rune because, I don't know. Because I'm a bastard or something, I don't know. Now we're pretty much to the part where I just want to spam my lane, or spam my spell all the time.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Where's my pension?
Alright, bit booster now for more raw HP. Again, just raw HP is really good against magic damage in most cases. And because I have an extra 12% magic resistance, it goes even farther. No! Truly amazing Crypt Swarm, I must say. Pretty much always should be pushing lanes if possible. Stuff's happening. I don't know, I'm walking over here. I feel like I should approach mid a little bit farther there. I still have the soaring on the in my stash. I don't know why I didn't fly it out. Still have a tango. Still have a... I think it's pretty safe to say I'm playing like crap. That's like 70 gold right there. That guy will never get. Just waiting for my bloodstone recipe, 900 gold. Very close. I don't know why I clicked on that central word so many times, guys. Not bad. Got 2 out of 4 denied. Alright, Bloodstone's finished. Ooh, haste runes. These are probably the best rune for Death Prophet to have, because your hero is very much about chasing. Using your ultimate, for example. I'll pop my ultimate here in a second. There we go. That'll help me chase. I'll silence. I did that to prevent him from casting his ultimate for a little bit of time. And as a result, he's not getting regen during that entire engagement. And then bottle up the Ricky a little bit. Keep his HP up. Now we just take towers.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Little dolphin shark things. Alright, made everything work. So, now that I have Bloodstone, and this is probably one of the oldest Death Prophet builds since she's ever been viable in Dota 1. You've got more HP, you've got more mana, you've got a lot of mana regen, and just basically your hero works a little bit better. Great stun. If that hook hits me, I'm pretty sure I'm dead. Fortunately, I'm pretty much out of cooldowns, so probably don't want to chase too much here. But any kill that I participate in is more mana per second, so all very good. And at level 15, I'm going to reduce my Crypt Swarm cooldown, which will put it down to 3.5 seconds. Super low. A little bit unlucky on the miss there. I don't know why I'm not just like nuking the crap out of everything.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And cast range is not bad, but definitely is better with the Yule's build, I think. My movement speed pretty much sucks right now too. It's another negative, but usually what you want to do is, in some cases, you want to get boots of travel pretty rapidly afterwards, and that's definitely something I wanted to do this game, because my movement speed is low. If I get boots of travel, that's an extra 55 movement speed. It is pretty expensive considering what it actually gives you. Like, movement speed alone on a typical hero is not really worth it. You don't want to spend 2,000 gold on 55 movement speed. It's like 4 times more expensive than a boots. But in the case of Death Prophet, it can be pretty worth it because your ability to like go somewhere and push is very enhanced. And I'm also far enough ahead in terms of HP that I feel comfortable tangenting for a 2,000 gold expense that will in the long run make me fairly strong. So Plus, I'm not super worried about anything like a Deso on a PA or something. If there's like a PA in this game and they buy a Desolator, then I kind of need to buy armor right away. And I can't afford to delay that at all. But this game, because it's mostly magic, I've got really high raw HP. Because of the Bloodstone, I've got a magic wand, and I've got the magic resistance perk. I feel really strong, actually, against magic nukes. So I'm going to rotate up to the top lane here, see if I can get any picks. But realistically, I think I'm really late to rotate. I should have TP. I should have TP'd as soon as that fight started, most likely. X did end up retreating. So I'll just push this lane out, I think, and probably ultimate the tower is the way to go. Should be my BOTs. Alright, there we go. Big movement speed increase. They give 100, right? Yeah. I don't remember if they changed it or not. And if nothing's happening... Ooh, this was, I remember this ultimate. Again, just casting nukes whenever I can. Even if it only hits one person, just think of it as like a 300 some damage nuke on a 3.5 second cooldown. It's all very good to have. Silence hit, nothing. And like the faster we kill the creep wave, the faster we kill the tower then. Because if the creeps are dead, then my exorcism's only going to hit buildings instead. Successful push. So at this point, normally what you're going to buy is an armor item. You need usually at least like a plate mail, because 10 armor can make a massive difference if you have 2000 HP. So that's probably my goal, is plate mail into like a Shiva's very commonly is what you want to buy. But this game, again, I'm not that worried about the physical damage output, so instead I'd rather just prioritize getting more raw HP and other utility items that I might need. So in this case, it's Octarine that I ended up rushing right afterwards. And thinking about it and justifying it to myself, it actually felt pretty good, because I knew that this is a hard kill without my ultimate, but the Purge showing up, this is... Just gonna use double Spirit Siphon. Took a little bit too much damage. Maybe could have eaten the Tango before I got killed. I did respawn really fast, at least. Yeah, that was unfortunate. He's actually super fast. I wasted my Spirit Siphon, which would have slowed him by 20% for 6 seconds, and very likely we get that kill then.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Spell Amp's okay, 5.6. Maybe I bought a plate mail and then I went into Octarine. I don't really remember. I think when I seem to remember that when I did this, I actually felt really smart, because making the entire Shivas is good, but it's not so useful that it's really, really needed. That's because it's kind of expensive. It's overall a like 4,700 gold item, I believe.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Overall pretty costly, but if you just get the plate mail, it gives you the piece that you need, which is really just the physical survivability. If I had that in the last engagement, I probably don't die. Maybe everything changes. Whereas buying the entire Shivas, not really something I need that badly. It'll provide a slow, which is kind of cool, but really I just want the armor to make sure that my HP goes farther. So right now I'm actually quite survivable against just about everything. Minus armor would still be a problem. If I was against like a TA or something, I would not be excited right now, because TA has so much minus armor that she kind of just cuts through everything. But relatively happy. 5 downtime, nuke creep waves. I think I'm focusing a little bit too much on the creeps versus the jungle, the lane stuff, but... And if I approach like that, I should probably walk in, use Siphon, and then silence. That would make more sense. But generally, it's much more important to pressure the lane than it is for you to consider pressuring the jungle. Like, the jungle doesn't care. The jungle doesn't get pressured. They either die or they don't die.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Does have his radiance now. Pretty easy kill. Does Charlie have Manta or Diffuse Lily? No, he doesn't. It's good Omni though. What an Omni Frostbite. Got Exorcism again, but I'm about to hit level 18, which means that my Exorcism will go from level 2 to level 3, so I don't know if I knew this at the time. I don't know if I was paying attention to my levels or not, but definitely makes a lot of sense to delay until... Got my ulti off before I died, which is... before I got disabled. Go little sharks. Again, it doesn't cost me very much to cast a nuke, so even if it does just a little bit of damage, it's fine. We're probably not going to keep pushing, so I go bottom instead. Increase my farm rate. You can take a look at my net worth as well. If you're ahead of an alchemist, it's a really good place to be, so I'm pretty happy right now. Another kind of cool build that you can go sometimes is Veil. The build works because this does magic damage, and as well as Spirit Siphon does magic damage. So if you lower their magic resistance, the amount of damage they take from Spirit Siphon actually goes up. So it's kind of a cool build to do. But the downside is when you do that build, you are more countered by magic resistance, since magic resistance reduction its effectiveness is limited by somebody that has magic resistance. So it kind of like puts you a little all in, which is usually a really big negative. So split pushing a little bit bottom. I'm going to TP over here to take a fight because it seems like it is something our team is doing. Fortunately, this guy's really fast. Okay. The silence, it's... Wish I had my ultimate here. I feel like I could have performed a little better there. I think the initial axe kill should have happened. Pretty sure. Fortunately, I got a blink off. So pretty much all I have is my nuke. Alright, got the 50 movement speed perk, now I'm even faster. I would say I'm only being mostly effective with my skills. I think my skill usage has been, I think it's pretty safe to say it's been weak. I'm not really using them perfectly. I'm not maximizing the value. I'm not guaranteeing kills. I'm changing targets too much. I think I played this game a little bit too chaotic. It did give me a lot of farm, but I think I could have done it better. Pretty easy kill. I mean, open the door. She locked herself in the room. BOT's been pretty valuable here. Moved around quite a bit. This is kind of where I like to play in a lot of games, just split pushing basically. And on Death Prophet it's a little bit more possible to do this just because you know that you are less likely to die if people show up because you do have so much damage output. And I saw that they were taking a fight, and because I used my Boots of Travels and canceled them, I figured that I should instead commit my ultimate to push as fast as possible. Because I'm not going to be able to get there. I could walk across the whole map, but it's so far that I don't really feel like I was really going to get there in time. So instead, high ground, hit buildings. It's actually pretty useful. I don't even really care that much how my fight is going. I could TP now though. Maybe. I should definitely be looking. Downside is that my ultimate didn't quite last long enough. That lasted like another 8 seconds, 10 seconds or something. Very likely could have gotten melee racks easily.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
I was hoping to silence him before he got his ultimate off, but alas. Now I'm gonna run away, so he has to stun himself.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Really wanted to get a Rax here.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
I think this lasts for 6 seconds. Then he ended up killing himself, which was, I thought, quite comical.
Are under attack.
Was this regen you? Oh, it's the tree armor, I think. Oh, and then they got back to her. I guess some creeps got past is what happened. This is actually so long. Like, I'm literally still pushing bot lane.
Are under attack.
Honestly, don't know if I saw that gyro or not. Maybe that was just a replay thing. At this point, I've definitely stayed way too long, though. I mean, I've been pushing so long, my ultimate's almost off cooldown. Pretty insane. And Octarine's coming.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks
Alright, win another team fight. Have a huge amount of gold advantage. Octarine lowers my cooldown down to 108. And that pretty much closes the game out. I think if I did get 25 this game, I would probably go... Definitely Exorcism Spirits, because I feel like I'm survivable enough that I can stand to get more damage. Whereas if my survivability is not quite as high, maybe I'd be more... I would more desire more HP. Or maybe if I bought things like Solar Crest, Pipe, things that don't increase my HP while increasing my survivability, that I'd want raw HP from my level 25. It's also a possibility. I look very dead. Yeah. In that circumstance, let's take a look at what Gyro has item-wise. It's actually pretty high damage. Might have been worth it to have... Something like a Pipe would probably be the best against those two. But it's kind of nice being able to skip. Or a BKB would have been good. Maybe a Yule's. Lincoln's, perhaps. This is probably the worst farming I've ever seen. Don't know why I'm bothering. That got me a whole, like, 40 gold or something. I am finishing Shiva's next Scythe, which I think is fine. I'm waiting for neutrals again. I think it would still be better if I wouldn't push bottom. It's kind of something I've learned a little bit more in the last couple of weeks, is that jungling isn't actually very important right now. It's more important to pressure the lanes and affect the game in that way. If I get the creeps in the base, then we know where they are. We have a higher chance to take buildings, stuff like that. I don't really need a DD that bad.
This'll come in handy.
Just gonna go hide over here. I think I YOLO'd this. I can't really remember. It's kind of dangerous. If they had a ward and saw me go in the trees, or if a Treant Protector was following me, this could be a very good way to just feed.
Where's my pension?
Spirits are great, man. They just hit no matter what. Chasing the gyro seems kind of difficult. It's a good RP. That pretty much guarantees the game win. I don't know, Death Prophet's really fun. You farm really rapidly, obviously. You contribute to the mid lane, or to the mid lane pretty well. So you're a good mid hero.
Radiant's top barracks are under
Honestly I honestly don't know what I got. I assume Exorcism Spirits? I can't remember. Health isn't terrible this game, but Exorcism's probably better. It's basically an extra level of your ultimate, which is quite fantastic. Oh, I did go health this game, interesting. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's okay. There's actually a lot of cases where I was just out of charges this whole game. 17 charge 1, Spirit Siphon. I thought it would maybe be a case where I survived barely with 600 HP
has fallen.
that I had skilled, but that was not the case. I just died. That's all, just regular death. We definitely got a little throwy towards the end here. I feel like something like Blade Mail could work. Yeah, Blade Mail could definitely work, I think, against a Gyrocopter. What else? Could get another armor item. Probably Magic Resistance is the way to go, I think. This puts my cooldown at 2.6 seconds, by the way. This is how we should have lived life. Just cast Crypt Swarm all the time. Not really sure what they want, so just went for the nuking. Let's take a look at some other item possibilities. Hypothetically, like Hexlake Aim can work. Lincoln's is okay, kind of. Maybe, you know, it'd actually be probably good as Z-Blade. I think that could work well. Gives you a handful of armor. 40% movement speed slow. I'm sorry, 80% movement speed slow. For 3 seconds, 40% extra magic. Which, this does magic, this does magic. The downside is that your Exorcism can't hit people, so I guess that part's bad. Atos can work too. Can cripple people, make them not be able to move. That's a lot of items. I don't know why we just didn't all in. Not sure, guys. give him my bottle so that he could regen. It's probably time to sell my null. And I opted to just get raw HP, which I think ultimately is an okay choice, just because there's kind of a mix of damage. There's a lot of magic as well. If I just get tons and tons of raw HP, then it covers all the bases a little bit. But with that said, it's probably better if I would have just gone like a pipe or something, maybe. Not sure. Very good RP. No stuns. No Yules. That's another reason actually why Death Prophets get Yules a lot, so you can interrupt TPs.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
I think he bought a Shadow Amulet. He did.
Dire victory.
So Death Prophet, pretty fun. I would say looking at it now, I played way worse than I felt like I played. During the game I felt like I played really well. My damage deal, things like that were good. This was pretty early on in international ranked. I think my international rank's a lot higher now. But my XPM was incredible, 800. I did 40k damage. 638 GPM is super good. Just think maybe my itemization was a little off. I like the Bloodstone. I like the plate mail into the Octarine. That was good, I think. But maybe I needed a pipe or something, because I was probably taking too much damage from like Rocket Barrage, Call Down, plus Pudge Ultimates and Rot and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to say though. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Enjoy the video, I guess. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. All right, bye. Have a good day.